Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Where you'll soon be in the know as we recap 2022, and hopefully you don't have the flu. You'll tell jokes, I'll do tricks, and I don't have candlesticks. I think I've got a lighter for when I lit the candles for my birthday. La da 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 da. No one's on, and the singing's probably scaring them. La da 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 da. Ah, people are coming on now. The scaring is actually summoning people and not scaring them away for once. Is this thing on? It's a real microphone, but it's not hooked up. How's everyone doing? Are you guys doing good? Hopefully everyone's doing well. It is time for the Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Hello, hello. Hello, Shelly. Hello, Christine. Hello, Debbie. How's everyone doing? Are you guys doing well? Are you doing well? I just got like a stuffy nose literally like half an hour ago. Like I was feeling, I still feel perfectly fine. But also my nose started getting clogged up like an hour ago. About half an hour ago. Like an hour ago I was like fine. And all of a sudden it's like, I like blew my nose right before this. So it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. Hola! Yeah, so tonight we're going to be going through and doing a recap of 2022. The year's so nice, they named it twice. 22. How come no one ever said that throughout the whole year? We had to wait until December 28th before we decided that was the logo of the year. So come join us one and all. Hopefully we can remember everything that happened this year. I've got a few lists that I've jotted down. Well, not with my, but I wrote it down on my phone. I took notes on my phone. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I took some Dayquil just to be safe. I mean, I personally feel 100% healthy, but all of a sudden my nose is like just a little congested right now. Hey, Matt. All right, let's get this party started. We're going to start the 697th. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Let's figure this out here real quick. 697, 698 will be next week's episode. 699 is going to be our marathon recap episode. Our 700th episode, we're going to be on a cruise. We will be live from a cruise ship. I didn't even think about that, but we're going to be live from a cruise ship on our 700th episode. That is awesome. Thank goodness we haven't been voting these last few weeks. The Frank family was able to have a peaceful Christmas and New Year. That's all we cared about. Okay. However, we're going to have a vote tonight. So sit tight. We're going to have, it's not going to be the vote that we've done. It's a simplified vote that's not going to make anyone mad. But let's get this party started. We're going to start the 700th episode of the Wednesday show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 700th episode of, not the 700th, the 697th. I was just talking about the 700th. The 697th episode of the Wednesday show. Today is December 28th, 2022. It's our final episode of 2022, which of course means it's time for us to recap what happened in Disney in 2022. But of course, before we get to that, let's talk about our news for the week. As always, thank you everyone who has been joining us for our Saturday in the Park. If you didn't already know, every single Saturday right here on the YouTube channel, we do a live broadcast from someplace found throughout the Walt Disney World Resort. You never know where we're going to be. However, I guarantee you we're always going to be at Disney and having some fun. So make sure you join us every single Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time right here on the YouTube channel. Also, if you didn't already know, speaking of YouTube, we have been releasing a brand new YouTube video every single day, literally every single day for the last year, over on my YouTube channel. In addition to that, we've also been doing YouTube Shorts every single day since late June. So make sure you join us every single day for those videos and the shorts. And if you have not been doing it, make sure you go give it a like. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe as well. But liking every video and subscribing truly, truly helps me out greatly. So thank you to everyone out there who has been doing that. And let's do the numbers here, because we did not do it the last 2 weeks. But our starting number today is 2,446. As always, if we get more subscribers as the show goes on, we will go into extra innings tonight and extend the episode a little bit more. So if you know anyone who's not subscribed yet, make sure you go send them over to subscribe to the Brent Dodge YouTube channel. And of course, as always, tonight's show is sponsored by It's All About... Oh, man. It's all about the mouse travel jazz hands. Oh, man. I hope I'm not getting sick. But make sure you stop by it'sallaboutthemousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All our services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. Oh, wait. So we're going to start off with a vote, because you guys love your votes. So let's start it off this way. We have 3 different categories we're going to be covering tonight. We have movies, bling, TV shows, bling, and we also have theme parks, bling. I don't know why we're doing the blings, but apparently we're doing blings as well. You guys have about 30 seconds to throw in the votes. What order would you like to go in? Would you like to start off with movies, or with TV shows, or with theme parks? And then we'll do another vote after we do the recap later on as well. So throw your votes then. Which one would you like us to start with? Movies, TV shows, or theme parks? We got theme parks, movies, TV, theme parks, movies, a little bit of everything. Theme parks, movies. Okay, we're going to give you guys about 15 more seconds to throw your votes in here, and then we're going to do a count here to figure out which ones we're going to do. It's tougher when we throw in the third category. However, I think we only have one person who started off with TV. TVs only has 1 vote right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 1 vote for theme parks, 2 for theme parks, 2 for movies, or I'm sorry, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 3 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 3. Theme parks is currently in the lead. You guys have about 5 seconds left to vote, but we will be starting off with theme parks, it looks like. So let me pull up my theme park notes here so we can go through and talk about our theme parks. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, we talk a lot about theme parks around here, especially since I go to theme parks literally every single day. And I was actually talking to someone the other day, again, about this, because it drives me crazy when this happens. Because every time I bring up the fact that I go to the theme parks every day, people go, okay, but how often is that? Is that like every day? But like how often do you really go to Disney every day? I'm like, I go to every day. I was at Animal Kingdom today. I was at Magic Kingdom yesterday. Tomorrow I'll be at Magic Kingdom again. The next day I'll be at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The next day I'll be at Epcot. The next day after that I'm going to be at Epcot. I got reservations for the next 5 days out at all times, because I go every single day. So because I go every single day, I love it when brand new things happen at the theme parks, because it gives me something new to experience. It gives me something new to photograph or video, or just kind of take in and look at the details about. So let's start us off with something old, because kind of like a wedding, we have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Do we have those things? Can I make this work? Something old, yeah. Something new, yeah. Something borrowed. We could do that with the stretch. Something blue. Yeah. Okay. Let's start off with something old. I don't know how we're going to do this, but this was not my plan whatsoever. But I just started talking, and that's just, that's how we end up here a lot of times. Okay. So let's start off with something old. Something old actually just came this past week. This past Friday, we got something old back in our lives. Actually, several times throughout this year, we've gotten something old back in our lives. So let's start off with the newest one, which is the Walt Disney World Railroad. The Walt Disney World Railroad has made its triumphant return back to the Magic Kingdom literally this past Friday. Now, if you didn't know, it went down about 5 years ago to make way for the Tron construction that's going on still to this very day. However, Tron will be opening up in 2023. We're going to talk more about that next week when we talk about exciting things that are going to come out in 2023. But in 2022, it was making the way for the Tron construction. And because the Tron construction was going literally over the railroad, they had to make way to, they had to have it so the train was shut down for a few years so they could do that construction. Now the train has reopened, and with the train being reopened, we do have some new things. The biggest part is that we have a new narration. So while you're going around the Grand Circle Tour, you can have it so we have a brand new narrator who still brings up different things like Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. By the way, I talked to one of the Imagineers about it who worked on the railroad, because I said it's kind of shocking when I heard them talk about Splash Mountain on the ride, because Splash Mountain closes up literally in like 3 weeks. And I was like, so it's kind of shocking that you guys still have that. And he's like, well, we have another recording, but we're using this one until that construction starts off. So because of that, we have a brand new recording. And in the new recording, we have new things that reference things like Tron and how Tron is coming up in the very near future as well. Overall, I love the train. I absolutely love the train. I've always loved the train. I think the train is one of the best rides in Walt Disney World. It's relaxing. It's a classic attraction. Walt Disney personally loved trains, so you know that they put a lot of joy, a lot of heart, and a lot of soul into making those locomotives go locomotive. Crazy motives. That's what crazy people do when they murder someone. They have a locomotive. That's a good one. Mark that down in my dream journal. My joke journal. The locomotive. I like that one. I'm gonna have to tell that to some of my co-workers that speak Espanol. Anyways, so the locomotive. Please, someone send me a message, because I know exactly who I'm gonna write to about that after the show's done. Anyways, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, so it's great to have the trains going back around Walt Disney World, around the Magic Kingdom once again. As always, the train is about a 25 to 30-minute ride, depending on how many stops they have or how long each stop actually takes. Sometimes it goes longer, sometimes it goes shorter. It all really kind of comes down to the boarding process at every single one of the different things. However, that was not the only something old that we received this year. I got right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland proudly presents, with millions of sparkling lights, the Main Street Electrical Parade. Okay. The Main Street Electrical Parade did come back over to Disneyland this year as well, bringing something old back to our lives once again. That almost fell as soon as I placed it down there, so let's go put it down there instead. So slowly throughout the year, we begin getting things that are old. Now let's talk about something. We have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do the borrowed one. I got the blue one in my head, but I'm trying to figure out the something new. So let's start off with something new. I'm wearing it right here. The Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind launched into Epcot in May of 2022. This brand new attraction has it, so we have brand new scenes featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. We've got Star-Lord, Groot, Gamora, Rocket, and Drax have returned to their roles as the Guardians of the Galaxy. This time around, we have a brand new pavilion at Epcot. It's actually our first intergalactic pavilion. All the other times we've had different things like countries around the world, different things that tell things like movement, things like Test Track, or space exploration, like Mission Space. But this is actually bringing us to a brand new galaxy or a brand new planet that we can learn all about in the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, with this brand new storyline, we get to learn all about the planet, but eventually something goes wrong. We are beamed up to a spaceship up above the planet Earth, and it's up to us, along with the Guardians of the Galaxy, to go off and try to save the galaxy once again. Can we do it? I hope so. I think so. Positive, because my hat even tells me that I'm a honorary guardian. Haha. In your face, everyone. So overall, it's an amazing attraction that came this year, and it's one of the few new attractions that we got this year. There's been other things that were supposed to be coming this year, but they got kind of pushed back as well. But besides that, we also got another attraction that came in Epcot this year that's a little bit more simple, but also a lot of it fun. That's right. Those are good words. They feature our friends DuckTales, woohoo! That's right, the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure just opened up a few weeks ago over in Epcot, and when this brand new attraction came up, it replaced things like Kim Possible, Agent P, Perry, and now we have the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure as well. This brand new adventure takes us all around seven different countries, all around World Showcase, as we try to stop famous DuckTales villains from pretty much taking over the entire world or the countries that we're actually going to visit them in. Overall, it's unbelievable. I absolutely love it. I've actually played a few of the countries twice now, even though I know exactly where all the different things are going to be. But the storyline, hilarious. It's got that same old charm that DuckTales has always had. So if you've not had a chance to go over to Epcot yet to check it out, I highly, highly, highly recommend going over to Epcot to check it out. Oh, wait, let's talk about something. We've talked about something old. We've talked about something new. It is time for us to talk about something borrowed before we talk about something blue. Something borrowed. Something borrowed. Something borrowed that came. I just came up with it. Hopefully it's good. It might not be good. Something borrowed. So as we know, there are a lot of different things that influence the parks from different movies and TV shows, and there's different things that inspire the TV shows and movies that are from the parks. It's kind of this hand-in-hand thing that they've been doing for years and years and years and years and years, and this year was no different whatsoever. So going through with something borrowed, Disney Parks has also borrowed some stuff from different things on Disney Plus, and the two big things that they've borrowed is Hulk as a character meet and greet from Avengers Endgame. He was borrowed, and now you can meet him over at Avengers Campus. And also the Mandalorian, along with Grogu, were borrowed from the Mandalorian TV show to be placed there as well. Is that something good borrowed? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully. Okay. And that is going to bring us to something blue. And something blue is probably my favorite thing that we were going to talk about for the whole year. Heading to the Tron ride. No, because Tron didn't open this year. We're only talking about 2022 right now. The electrical parade, yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh wait, so let's get to the big one. The biggest thing that happened this year in my personal book, and it's something blue, because somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, because it's the big blue world. Oh, that's another thing that we got this year. We got the Finding Nemo and the Big Blue World and Beyond, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We are going to be talking about the one, the only, the Disney Cruise Line. The Disney Cruise Line opened up yet another ship, the fifth ship in its fleet, the Disney Wish, earlier this year. This summer, we got not only that, but we also got another cruise line experience over in Walt Disney World as well, but this time actually it comes in the form of going off on a cruise line in space. That's right, we have the Galactic Star Cruiser, which I have not yet experienced yet, so I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't really know too much about it. I've been avoiding things until I had the opportunity to actually set sail on the ship myself. But we have that, and then we also have the actual cruise line experience that we can take out of Port Canaveral right now on the Disney Wish. Now, the Disney Wish, like I said, is the 5th ship in a line of fleet of 5 ships. We've got the Magic, Wonder, Dream, Fantasy, and now the Wish. Ironically, it's the second one that starts with the letter W. The only reason I bring that up is I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I don't know why it's weird, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, that's kind of weird that there's 2 that start with the. But anyways, that's besides the point. So with the letter W, or with the Wish, it is like a castle on the sea where guests are invited into their own storybook experience, and they can meet characters like Cinderella, who can be found in the atrium, and they can walk on a carpet that is inspired by Cinderella, again in the atrium, or they can look at things on the wall that are also inspired by Cinderella. A lot of Cinderella stuff. But that's not why we're going to be talking about this right here. What we're going to be talking about is going through and talking a little bit about the things that you can find on the ship. First off, we got the brand new first ever attraction out at sea, the Aqua Mouse, where you have 2 different storylines that go on. If you have a chance to go on the ship multiple days, you have the chance to go on multiple storylines. One of them takes us under the sea with Mickey. The other one takes us off into the snowy snow caps with the Abominable Snowman. Both storylines, absolutely amazing. I personally loved both of them, and I absolutely love the Aqua Mouse, and I want to go on the Aqua Mouse and the Wish again desperately. I just absolutely love both of them. In addition to that, we also have fan favorites like the Walt Disney Family Theater, Paulo, Remy, but we also have brand new dining experiences like the Marvel restaurant, my least favorite part of the entire thing. But we can also go to Arendelle and sing with Wandering Oaken, one of my favorite parts of the entire cruise. And we can also go to the brand new high-class restaurant 1923, where you can sit in an area that is inspired by multiple spots around the Disney Animation Company. Overall, absolutely amazing ship. If you've never had the chance to go on it yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I will be going on it again some point. I just don't know exactly when. Okay, so before we go into our next topic of either TV or movies, I think we'll start with TV and then go to movies. Let's just do a few other highlights that we've kind of skipped over. I've seen some people throwing things into the chat room below. You forgot Fantasmic. I was going to get Fantasmic an honorable mention, but Fantasmic has come back to Disneyland and Walt Disney World, both with brand new scenes and brand new heart-stopping fun that is absolutely amazing to do. As Matt pointed out, we do have Disney on Ice is back in all of its glory as well. Did anyone else throw anything else out in there? Not yet. Not yet. So let's go through some of the other things that I have in my thing. We got World of Color, Disneyland Forever. A lot of stuff at Disneyland returned this year. The last big thing that happened with the parks is not something that you would ever find on anyone else's lists, but probably the biggest thing that happened with the parks this year is kind of crazy. Is, as a personal note, one of my favorite parts about the parks this year was on August 18th, 2022, was the day that we decided to go for our crazy challenge ever, the Coast to Coast Park Crazy Challenge, where we decided to do 15 attractions in both Disneyland and Magic Kingdom on the very same day, duplicate attractions, and of course, spent a lot of time grounded in Texas. Ugh, it was awful. But overall, probably one of the greatest days I've ever had in the parks, if not the greatest day. Just unbelievable day overall from start to finish. One of the best highlights of 2022 for me personally, and hopefully for you guys as well. I hope people enjoy that. I know people said that they enjoyed it, but I hope when you guys think back at 2022 and you think of highlights, hopefully the theme park or the Coast to Coast Crazy Challenge is one of them. All right, let's go to TV series before we hop into movies, because we got a lot of movies to kind of go through and cover. So let's start off with TV series. Now, as always, over on Disney Plus, we have tons of brand new, crazy series that come out all the time. And we're just going to go through a few of them. There's no way we're going to be able to touch on all of them, but we're going to cover a few of them, a few of my favorites. First off, we have Andor, which is probably my favorite Star Wars series that we've ever had so far. Andor tells the story about Cassian Andor before the events of Rogue One. We get to go through from him as a child all the way up until about 2-3 years before the events of Rogue One. And overall, unbelievable storytelling, unbelievable action, unbelievable everything. Absolutely love the series. If you are a Star Wars fan, I highly, highly, highly recommend Andor. In addition to that, we also got another Star Wars series this year, which is probably my second favorite series, which was Obi-Wan Kenobi. That has it. So we have Ewan McGregor comes back along with Hayden Christensen as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. Both series absolutely amazing. In addition to that, we also got a few brand new Marvel series. We got Miss Marvel, which is probably my favorite of the ones that came out this year. I loved Miss Marvel. I have watched Miss Marvel twice now. And I'm also, okay, complete side note. So there's a Miss Marvel hat that they've been selling at the parks. And I really like the Miss Marvel hat. It's got like her little like S logo on there, and it's like a blue hat with like the logo. Really cool hat. And there's been several times where I'm like, oh, I kind of want it, but maybe I'll just wait. And then about a week ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to go get the hat. I know exactly where they sell it. I went into the store and it was not there. So I asked the cast member, they said, oh, I think we just get discontinued it like yesterday. I was like, no, because I had literally just seen it like 3 or 4 days before that. So now I am on the hunt for this hat. I think I'm going to try Disney Springs at the Marvel shop at some point, but at the same time, I'm not positive if it even exists anymore. But yeah. In addition to Miss Marvel, we also had Moon Knight, another amazing Marvel series that takes us through the multiple personalities of, well, Stephen Grant and Mark Spector. And again, nonstop action, amazing storytelling, tons of twists and turns, very confusing if you're not really paying attention. So pay attention. And then the final one that we had this year was She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, not my favorite of the Marvel series, but at the same time, I did find it enjoyable. There are some parts of it that I think were amazing scenes and amazing episodes. But overall, it probably is my least favorite. It's just not as action-packed, and I felt like the story kind of lagged at a few spots. But at the same time, if you are a Marvel fan, I do still recommend it. In addition to those ones, we got 3 old franchises that came back in series form. Our first one was the Santa Clauses. The Santa Clauses tells the story about Scott Calvin along with his family, Carol and their 2 kids, and they decide that he is no longer going to be Santa Claus, and he's going to give the role to a completely different man. The 6-part series, I like the original Santa Claus. Santa Claus 2 is okay. Santa Claus 3 is okay. I always liked the first one. I thought the first one was a really good film, and then the second and third ones were, they're okay. So when the series came out, I was hesitant, but I gave it a chance. I watched all 6 episodes, and overall, I think it's a good series. I don't think it's a great series. Will I ever watch the series again? Probably not. To be honest with you, probably not. But at the same time, I think it was if you enjoyed the first 3 films, definitely check it out. If you did not enjoy the first 3 films, then you don't really have to check it out. In addition to that, we also have a rebirth of old films. In addition to that, back in the 1980s, we got a great science fiction / fantasy film called Willow. Willow currently is on its 6th episode, I believe. I think there's 2 more episodes after this week's episode. I've not watched this week's episode. Please do not spoil it for me. But the story of Willow takes place about 30 years after the well, actually, it's probably about like 18 years after, because right now they have said that there's not going to be a 2nd season. There were rumors that came up online, but Tim Allen originally had said that there was only going to be 1 season, and that was going to be it. So I think the Santa Claus is. I think what we've seen of it is probably going to be the end of it. But Willow tells the story about Willow the sorcerer, along with the king and queen. Well, the queen, the king is dead. But the queen, who now has her two children of her own, and then the handmaiden, who is actually the granddaddy of them all. Well, she's a girl, so she's probably not the granddaddy, but she's the granddaughter-y the granddaughter of them all. She is the one who's supposed to bring power to the Force, essentially, and they are heading off to try to find her love, who has been kidnapped. And overall, I think it's a good series. I don't think it's as good as the movie. I feel like they're trying to throw too many. Like, I feel like they're trying to make it too modernized. But at the same time, I am still enjoying it. I think it's still a good series to check out. So if you've not watched Willow yet, I do recommend watching Willow. I am a fan of it. I feel like they try to modernize it a little too much at times. But at the same time, I don't dislike it. I think it's a good film. The final one for those ones that we're going to be talking about is the other reboot, which is my favorite one so far. It actually probably my favorite television series on Disney Plus this year, which is National Treasure: Edge of History. National Treasure: Edge of History. It's the same world. It's the same world that Nicolas Cage's character was in, and we see a lot of the same characters from the original films as well. If you've not watched it, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but we currently are out with four episodes. The fourth episode came out today. Again, I have not watched it yet. Though we have 4 episodes out so far, and overall so far, I absolutely love this series. I am in love with this series. I think it's one of the best Disney Plus series that they've done, not just in 2022, but since the entire Disney Plus thing launched a few years ago. So if you've not watched National Treasure and you were a fan of the movies, I highly recommend going to check this one out as well. In addition to that, we got a lot of different smaller things like the Baymax series. Baymax series is a bunch of different short cartoons. Overall, all of them were extremely entertaining. And then one of my favorite ones of the entire thing was Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. Limitless with Chris Hemsworth has it so every single episode features a different thing that he has to face and try to overcome, so he can become limitless. Overall, it's an amazing series, absolutely amazing series. It really does make you start to think differently about the way you live your life and the different health options that you make on a daily basis, and just the way that you kind of embrace your own life. If you've not watched Limitless, go check it out. Go check it out. Every single episode is about an hour long, and then the final episode is like an hour and a half long. I was actually talking to my dad about it today because I watched it. I was like, it starts off like a comedy, and then it ends like so seriously, and you're like, oh my gosh. But it really makes you think differently about different things in your life. So I highly recommend all of those series. And that's going to bring us to our final category, which is going to be the movies. While we start getting the movies ready, I want to have it so if you guys have any questions so far, start throwing those questions into the comments below, and we will answer any and all questions as we go through here. Oh, that's not my list of movies. Where's my list of movies? There's my list of movies. Okay. Okay, so let's start us off. A lot of the movies we're going to be talking about right now were made exclusively for Disney Plus throughout the years, because at the start of the year, remember, not a lot of movies were being released in theaters yet. So let's start us off with the first one, which was the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. If you remember, a few years ago, Disney purchased 20th Century Fox, and one of the brands that they actually purchased with it was the Ice Age series. Now, before this, we've had Ice Age, Ice Age 2, Ice Age 3, Ice Age 4, Ice Age 5. There's been a lot of Ice Ages. There's been short cartoons about Ice Ages, but we got a brand new Ice Age series. I was watching this movie. Here's my experience with this movie. I have not finished this movie because I was watching this movie. It came out January 28th of this year. I was watching the movie, and my brother was in town with his wife and my niece and my nephew. So I said, okay, I'm going to watch part of the film, and then I'm going to go to bed early because I'm going to meet up with them early in the park. So I decided I'll go meet up with them at their hotel. So I watch part of the movie, go to sleep, wake up, go to their hotel. I get to the hotel, and guess who's watching the end of the movie? My niece and nephew. So the entire ending of the movie completely ruined for me. So because of that, I was like, I don't need to watch the rest of this movie. So at some point, I might go back and watch it, but I've seen the start and I've seen the end. I'm missing the middle. All right, later on that, well, literally 2 days later, we got a documentary series, which was also released in a few theaters around the country, mainly the UK country, not our country, which was The Beatles Get Back, the Rooftop Concert. Now, this entire series, it was actually a giant documentary series, lasted about 6 hours long. Very, very, very long. But if you're a fan of the Beatles, I'm a fan of the Beatles. I like the Beatles. If you're a fan of the Beatles, it was worth checking out. But overall, it's also a very, 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 very long series. So make sure you check it out. If you like the Beatles, I do highly recommend watching it, but just don't sit down and watch it all at once. It's better if you like. What I did was I watched like half an hour at a time, and then the last like hour of it I watched all together. You could really just go to the last hour, and that's the best part. Actually, the best part of the whole thing is at one point George Harrison quits, and the way he quits and how nonchalant everyone is, it's the funniest thing because he's like, yeah, I think I'm done. I don't want to be in the band anymore. And everyone else goes, okay, we'll figure out a way how to like send you your residuals. And he just leaves. And I was like, wait. That's probably the funniest part. How nonchalant they all were. Like, oh, okay, I guess he quit the band. Oh, well. In March, we got 2 movies. We got Turning Red, the brand new Pixar film about an adolescent girl who is going through some different changes in her life. Namely, she is transforming into a giant red panda because she has hit that time of her life period, and she finds out that her mom, her grandma, went through the same change as well. Overall, I think Turning Red was entertaining. I don't think it's the best of the Pixar films. I don't think it's the worst of the Pixar films. That still belongs to The Good Dinosaur. Sorry, Good Dinosaur, but it is. But overall, I think Turning Red was a good film. I've watched it only once. I will watch it again. I just don't know when I'm going to watch it again. But overall, not my favorite, but not my least favorite as well. Speaking of least favorite, though, Cheaper by the Dozen, which came out March 18th of this year, directly to Disney Plus. It was a remake of the classic film featuring Steve Martin. I like the Steve Martin one a whole lot better. This one was okay. It didn't really do much for me. There's just too many characters that were on this thing. Better Nate Than Ever was a made-for-TV or Disney Plus show about a child who wanted to be a Hollywood star, and he goes off and gets his Aunt Phoebe Buffet, as Lisa Kudrow. He gets Lisa Kudrow, his aunt, and she goes and helps him get auditions without anyone really finding out that that's what they're doing. And he eventually becomes a star. It's actually it's loosely based off of the story of the director on how he got his big break as well. Overall, it's an okay film. There's some good musical numbers in there, but it's okay. We got, as always, our usual Disney nature film. This time we got Polar Bears. I really enjoyed Polar Bears. It was again, not my favorite of the Pixar films, not my least favorite. However, the next film we got in May 20th, 2022, is probably my favorite of all the film. Let me look through all the films of 2022. My favorite film of 2022. Should we skip it? Should we skip my favorite and come back to it? Or should I say what it is right now? I love this movie. I've watched this movie like 10 times. It's such a good movie. We'll just say it. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I loved Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I think it's one of the best Disney films that they've made in recent years. Sometimes, they're over there. I was gonna say I got Chip 'n Dale. Are they there? Yeah, they were sitting over there. I thought I don't have anything over here with Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I do. The entire plot of the film is Monterey Jack is kidnapped, or was it Gadget's kidnapped? No, Gadget's kidnapped. But no, Monterey Jack is. And the entire thing is they're trying to figure out exactly what happened to Monterey Jack. Where did he go? But the entire thing goes off into the future well, not to the future, but recent times. It actually starts off with telling the stories about Chip and Dale, how they got their big Hollywood break, how they made it big with their Chip and Dale TV series, and then they became washed up Hollywood stars. It's amazing. It kind of goes through the whole idea that these two were best friends. They started their own careers, and then they're going to eventually make their way back to each other to solve one more crime. However, they do remind themselves that, hey, we're not actually real crime-solving fiends. We're just two actors who played crime solvers on TV, and now we're actually being placed into the middle of a real-life detective story. Now, the great thing about this series that I personally loved about this series is the fact that when they are going through these different storylines, you see so many different characters from the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s that were animated characters as well that have just kind of been forgotten about because they're all these washed up stars. Overall, it's been an amazing film. I've watched, like I said, I've watched it multiple times, probably not 10, but I have watched it multiple times because I really enjoyed it. And I think it might be my favorite film of 2022. In June, we got a few movies. We got 3 movies. Wow. We got Hollywood Stargirl, which is a follow-up of the film Stargirl, which was also made specifically for Disney Plus. In this, we have what's her name? Grace. She was on America's Got Talent. Grace what? Let me look it up here. Grace Vanderwall. We have Grace Vanderwall, who plays the title character. Her and her mom go off to Hollywood, and she has to try to find her new footing in the ground. I think the first film was good. I didn't think it was great. I don't think it really deserved a sequel. I think the same thing about this one. I think it's a good film. I don't think it's great. I don't really think it deserves a sequel, but I can also see in a few years if we get another sequel of it. Because I think she's a talented actress, and I think the storytelling was pretty good in it. A few weeks later, we got Lightyear, the live action, not the live action, but the movie that inspired the Toy Story film, if that makes sense. So the entire film starts off with, in 1995, Andy went to go see a film that became his favorite film, and he asked for a toy based off of his favorite character in that film, and that's how we got Buzz Lightyear. So Lightyear is a movie that inspired the toy, even though the two of them are like literally almost 30 years apart from one another. Lightyear, I think it's a good film. I don't think it's a great film. Because honestly, if I was Andy in 1995, and I was just a few years older than Andy would have been in 1995, I think he was turning 9 in the film, and I would have been 11 at the time. If I was Andy and I was watching that movie, I would not want a Lightyear toy. I would want the cat, because the cat was the star of the entire film. And the fact that he would want the Lightyear toy just blows my mind after watching that movie. Like, Buzz was a good character, but he wasn't a great character. But what was the cat's name? Not Middens. Middens is the name of the cat that's in Bolt. Or was it Middens? Oh, someone tell me in the chat room. I can't remember the name of the cat. Buttons? Whiskers? Figaro? Now I'm just naming cats. A week later, we got another film that was directly to Disney Plus. This one was Rise. Rise tells the story about Socks. That was it. Thank you. Socks was the name of the... I would have personally wanted the Socks toy over a Buzz Lightyear toy at that age. Like, that's just me. I am from the great state of Wisconsin, and our professional basketball team is the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm not like an avid fan. I get their updates. Actually, I just got their updates right now. It is end of the third. Milwaukee's up 82-79. I get the updates from the Milwaukee Bucks games, but I'm not like a diehard fan. However, I do pay attention to whether or not they're winning and all that other fun stuff. And because of that, I was very excited when Rise came out, because Rise tells the story about Giannis along with his brothers and how they came into America and how they actually started in the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks and other different things around the league. Overall, I think Rise was one of the most inspirational Disney films that we had this year. It probably was the most inspirational film of the year. Granted, it was all based off of true life stories, but if you have not seen it yet, check it out because it is just one of those. I think Disney just does sports movies really well. Like when you think of things like Remember the Titans, Cool Runnings, Miracle. I mean, they do such a good job at telling these stories about true life sports stories and bringing them into the cinema. Unbelievable. I absolutely love it. Unbelievable. And I think they did it again with Rise. I think Rise is just a very well done story. And if you've not watched it, I want you to go check it out because even if you're not a basketball fan, I think it's a very inspiring story to make you go follow your dreams as well. And also, just go live your life. Holy cow, such a good film. That's the film that I might after like I'm talking now and I'm like, that's the movie that I'm going to watch later on tonight because I'm talking myself into it right now. It was such a good film. We got another live action remake because we're always getting live action remakes these days of Pinocchio with Tom Hanks playing the role of Geppetto. I enjoyed Pinocchio. I know a lot of people did not enjoy Pinocchio. In my room, in my bedroom, I have the original Pinocchio book. I borrowed it from my grandma when I was little, and then she told me I could keep it, and I have it in the room. It's from the 1800s. It's like one of the original Pinocchio books. And this telling of Pinocchio, the live action one, is truer to the book than the animated one. So I really, really enjoyed the movie. I didn't enjoy it as much as the animated. I like the animated more. But it was really cool because they did really pay tribute to the original story a whole lot more than what we had with the animated movie. So if you've not watched Pinocchio, I do recommend Pinocchio. I think it was a good film. I think it gets a lot more hate than it deserved. And I think it's worth checking out. We also got a lot of sequels over the last few months here. Starting us off, Hocus Pocus 2, the follow-up of Hocus Pocus 1. It's been 30 years since the first movie came out, Hocus Pocus 2. I thought it was actually a very entertaining film. Again, I don't think it's as good as the original film, but I think it's a pretty funny film. It kind of keeps the same character personalities and everything else like that. The only thing that is kind of weird about it is from the 300 years before in Salem to 1992, the witches don't age at all. And now you can tell that these witches have aged, even though they haven't, like they've been locked up for the last 30 years in some time vortex. So it's kind of weird that they aged now, but they didn't age the first time around. That was my only complaint about the movie. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. In addition to that, in November, we got a sequel to Enchanted with the film Disenchanted. Now, Disenchanted, if you've not watched it, I like Disenchanted. I didn't love Disenchanted. I brought this up a few weeks ago when we were doing the Wednesday show and we were talking about Enchanted. The original Enchanted film was one of those films that I watched multiple times in the movie theaters. I loved Enchanted. I think Enchanted is one of the best Disney films that Disney's ever done. Like, just ever. Like, I think it's just such a well done film. Disenchanted, I think, is good, but I think they forgot what made the first one so good, and that was taking a animated character and placing her into the human world and having her still act like an animated character. This time around, they had it so all the characters became animated characters in the human world, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one, because I think that fish out of water effect that they had with Giselle coming in from Andalasia in the first film into New York City, I think it's just such a unique storyline. It's so well done, and I think that, following Disenchanted is a movie I still have not seen. I started watching it last night, but I was very tired, so I only watched the first few minutes, and that was Strange World. But from the first 5-10 minutes that I watched, I loved it. I think it was actually a great film so far. I will probably watch the rest of that tonight. I was really, 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 really into it last night, but I was so exhausted that I decided to treat myself right and go to sleep. Our final two films are both made for Disney Plus animated series or sequels. One of them is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. I love the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, the book series. I literally have all of the books up there on the shelf. I think it's the funniest series of books. If you've never read it, go read them. They're absolutely hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. And the pictures are absolutely hilarious as well. And Roderick Rules, I always thought was a pretty good book. And this film does a pretty good job telling the story. It's not as funny as the book, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then our final one was Night of the Museum. Kamara Rises Again. You can skip it. that's like how we're gonna end it. Yeah, you can skip it. It was good. It wasn't really great. In addition to that, obviously Disney has things like Fox as well. That is not put in it's not put out on the Disney label, but we had things like Avatar: The Way of Water. I did watch that one. I really didn't care for it at all. I thought visually amazing, storytelling. Oh, they could have done a much shorter story, and it would have been much more entertaining than what they did. It was okay, but it wasn't anything great. Oh, hey, let's go to your questions in the comments. What was your favorite things? Let me know. What was your favorite addition to the parks? What was your favorite movie? And what was your favorite TV series that Disney has released this year? Well, and what was your favorite thing that Disney added in 2022? I'm going to say my top three for each category, or my top thing for each category. Oh yeah, we did. I think we skipped all the Marvel ones, didn't we? I didn't write down the Marvel ones. Yeah, we had Thor: Love and Thunder. Um, we had a few. Thor: Love and Thunder. Wait, I'm trying to find. We had Doctor Strange, um, Multiverse of Madness, which I feel like that one got a lot more hate than it should have. Oh, that's. We also had Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I enjoyed. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but unfortunately, a fight broke out in my theater, so because of that, like that's all. Like whenever I think about Wakanda Forever, that's the only thing I really think about is like, oh yeah, the fight at the end was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. That people are gonna fight at the end of the movie. But yeah, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I really enjoyed that one. It was like a horror film. I'm not a big horror film person, but overall, I thought that was a very good film. Thor: Love and Thunder came out in July. Uh, I I really do enjoy Thor. I think this one was a little too silly at times, but at the same time, I felt like it was a good film. And then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was like heartbreaking most of the time. And then Spider Man actually came out in 2021. That was in December of 2021. Let me see the date. December 17th. So you're really close, but that was last year. But yeah. So let me know though. What was your favorite thing that Disney released at all this year? Oh yeah, I forgot about Zombies 3. Zombies 3. It's an alien invasion. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of cool. That's my favorite. Uh, that is my favorite. The alien invasion song. I think it's just hilarious. It's an alien invasion. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of cool. And they start doing like a dance break in the middle of the street there. All right, so let me know though. What is your favorite thing that came out Disney 2022? Anyone? My favorites, if we're going to go through, Avatar: The Electrical Parade and Santa Claus. I would say the Disney Wish, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and National Treasure are my top three. Anyone else have a three up there? Favorite thing from the theme parks or parks and travel? Favorite movie and favorite series? Let's hear them from you, people. It's an alien and that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day now. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of cool. And they're like, my niece goes through and she asks people to say something to Alexa. Alexa, what song would you like to play? But you say like, Alexa, play Alien Invasion, and then she's Alexa. Like, she pretends like she's the radio, and then she'll sing the songs for you. And it's amazing because she knows after like 2 days of the movies out, she literally knows every lyric of every song in each of those films. It's unbelievable. Okay, no one's throwing their favorite things out there. There's like 17 of you watching right now too. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of cool. All right, while you guys do that, let's see, did we get any new subscribers? If we went up at all, we will go into extra innings. We are still at 24:46, so we'll not be going to extra innings tonight. The Guardians attraction, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind came out this year. Also, the Guardians Holiday Special came out this year. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out next year. That's the one you're talking about. A lot of things that can go through. Alexa, turn off the lights. I don't have an Alexa personally, no. That's your favorite ride. Which is great, but I've not been to the park since 2021. Oh no! Favorite movies: Avatar. Does Bluey count as a favorite thing? I count it. I love Bluey. I think Bluey's hilarious. Love Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Guardians Cosmic Rewind was also a fave, despite it making me nauseous every time. I feel like every person that I brought on Guardians of the Galaxy this year, I went on for the first time with people, like for people's first times, probably I want to say 6 or 7 people for their first time when it was not my first time. And every person was like, this was the greatest. Favorite TV series: Santa Clauses. The Santa Clauses. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Santa Clauses, but I don't know. I think it's just when I look at the other things that are out right now, the other ones I think are a little bit better. You get a life-size Bluey stuffed animal for Christmas. I love Bluey. Okay, then more importantly, who is your favorite character in Bluey? Because I feel like every time you ask someone, they always throw a different character out there. I have a personal I'm gonna wait a few seconds to tell you who my favorite Bluey character is. I have seen every Bluey episode, by the way. I love Bluey. I think Bluey is absolutely hilarious. But they need more episodes on Disney Plus. But my nieces and nephew all love Bluey. All 4 kids love Bluey, and they can pretty much quote every episode. I think Bluey's hilarious, though. You've never seen Bluey? What? You switch that tonight. Tonight, it is your duty to go through and watch the first 3 episodes of Bluey. Yeah, big suitcase for Christmas. Definitely Bandit's hilarious. I do like Bandit. Lucky's dad is awesome. So glad the train's back. Me too. You accept that duty. Kristen, get off here now. No. Stay on here until the show's over. We're almost over. My personal favorite character is Muffin. I love Muffin. Especially the episode when Muffin comes over for the sleepover. And the entire episode... when she wakes up next to the flamingo, and she's like, ah! I think Muffin's hilarious. Anytime Muffin's on the screen, I lose it. I'm like, I get so excited. The episode they teach Gramps how to floss is hilarious. Yes. Yeah, what about the Granny's episode? When they're walking. Oh, Bluey is hilarious. I mean, if you have not watched Bluey, go watch Bluey. Here, let me pull up. This is what we're gonna do. Write down so Christine can go through and she can figure out what Bluey to watch. Let me know right now, what is your favorite Bluey episode? We've already said our favorite characters, but what is your favorite Bluey episode? And this is always amazing too, because Bluey is always one of the top things trending. That's literally the second thing trending right now is Bluey. It's always in the top 3, like all the time. People love Bluey. I like season 1, episode 14, Takeaway. I think Takeaway is a hilarious episode. Because everything just like slowly like escalates more and more. Season 1, episode 28 is Granny's. You gotta watch it. Like, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch Bluey. Bluey is just, it's so funny. So fun fact, the guys who created Bluey actually sold it as an adult TV series, and they said, well, this could actually be geared towards kids too. So this series is actually written toward the adults. Oh, wait, where's the sleepover episode? There we go. My personal favorite is season 1, episode 39, The Sleepover. Sleepover. There's a guy that I work with who's got two kids, and he's told me, he's like, if his kids are wanting to watch something, he always gets them to watch Bluey because he enjoys Bluey so much. But he's like, the problem with it is he's realized that the kids will walk away and he's still sitting there watching Bluey by himself. Now I'm trying to find other. Perfect is a good episode too. That's the thing about Bluey, is like there's some episodes that are just like very sweet. Let's see here. Oh, Mini Blue is good. Season 3, episode 6. And season 3, episode 1, and season 3, episode 2, they're all good. They're like, Bluey is just such a good unit. Wait, which one's that one? I gotta see the picture of it. So you run a Disney podcast. What do you do? Well, the other day we were just looking around all. Oh, that's a Unicorse is a hilarious episode. Bluey can't go to sleep, so Mom reads her a story. Love that episode. Yes, Face Talkie, season 3 episode 23. Oh my gosh, it is such a good series. Like, I absolutely love it. This is what my life has gotten to. It is. We've come such a far way here on the Wednesday show. After 697 episodes, we started off telling fun finds, different stories, different fun facts about Disney World. And here we are, 697 weeks later, and we're all talking about Bluey, trying to figure out what the best episode of Bluey is. Oh, season 3, episode 22, whale watching, when the parents are obviously had too much to drink the night before. the, the whole, oh my gosh, go watch Bluey. Go, if you have not watched Bluey, go watch Bluey. It is so funny. It is such a, oh my gosh, I love Bluey. Oh, like the whole series. It's like it's geared towards adults more than anything else. You're just literally taking that episode when Bluey and Bingo come into the mom and dad, and they're like, Muffin said that she saw you dancing on the table last night, Mom. And they're both like laying down, like, oh, don't talk so loud. It's impossible not to find Bluey on Disney Plus. Here, we gotta. Wait, I accidentally closed out of the app, so now I have to. Literally, so just go down. Trending, it's always there. Like it's always in that top 2, top 3. Yes, the Granddad episode's great. Like there's just so many amazing episodes. Whale watching is absolutely the absolute funniest episode. I think whale watching and sleepover. I think those might be the two funniest ones. It's such a funny episode. Okay, so on that note, tonight's episode, as always, was brought to you guys by. It's all about the mouse travel jazz hands. Make sure you stop by. It's allaboutthemousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely positively 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. And when you're booking, tell them what your favorite Bluey episode is, because we're all going to have one at the end of the day. Because Bluey is absolutely hilarious. Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again today and talking about Bluey with me, and also, recapping what happened in 2022 with Disney. Both great things, but Bluey. We should just do an episode where we just stay here and talk about Bluey. Maybe we should start a Bluey podcast where we literally just go through and watch every episode of Bluey and comments on what we've noticed and the details involved. Like the sleepover episode when Muffin's dad drops off Muffin and then starts leaving, and then Chili is like, the look she gives him is one of like pure disgust, because she knows that he just dropped over her niece that's like exhausted, and it's so funny. It's so funny. Anyways, thank you. I'm gonna go watch Bluey. I thought I was gonna watch Rise, but Bluey is gonna be what wins. I'm gonna go watch the whale watching episode of Bluey right now. So thank you everyone for joining us once again. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, keep spreading the word about the Wednesday show and From Screen to Theme, and invite anyone and everyone to join the group over on Facebook, or to go subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. And of course, as always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Bye-bye. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I just can't